And that's why, fanboys were like, oh, this movie was awesome. And then people normal people were like, what the fuck's going on? Like, why do they hate each other?
Like the Flash thing that was taking place in the, where he, like, sees the future.
Yeah.
They don't...
People are like, what does that Omega sign mean in the dirt? Oh, what the fuck's going?
Yeah.
Why is he bad? What's the key? Who's Lois Lane? What the fuck is a Flash?
Yeah,
pretty much.
That's what happens.
That's what normal people sound like to me. What the fuck?
Let's talk a bit more about Marvel, man.
Yeah, man.
What's your favorite standalone Marvel film?
Standalone,
right now.
My favorite one probably has to be Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Oh, okay.
Probably my favorite one.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there, man.
I really like kind of the conflict that Cap has to go through, because he knows halfway through the movie he ends up finding out that this crazy assassin guy who is who they call the Winter Soldier is his best friend, who he thought was dead for 80 years.
And he had been brainwashed,
yeah,
so he's forgotten about
his past. Yeah,
Captain.
Yeah, and I also so that was part of the reason why I like that one. I thought it was really shot really good. Mm-hmm. Just everything in that was amazing. Cause
it's like light years ahead of the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the first one was very campy and kind of weird.
Yeah.
Being an Origins picture, yeah. I was just like, and then Winter Soldier came out, and I was like, oh, it was like that meme, that Drake meme, where it's like the first Avenger, Winter Soldier.
Like, yeah. Yeah, and then I also like the whole twist on in that one how S.H.I.E.L.D. is basically Hydra. It's been there's Hydra agents all over the world, basically, mm-hmm. and the whole they've infiltrated basically S.H.I.E.L.D. and S.H.I.E.L.D. is no longer what it stood for, back in the day, or from Avengers 1, whatever. And S.H.I.E.L.D. basically turns on him, and he becomes a wanted fugitive. And then I really liked Civil War too. I like Civil War more towards the end, when it was Cap and Bucky fighting Iron Man. Mm-hmm. That whole thing with like that part's in the trailers too, when he's like, oh, like, I'm sorry, Tony, he's my friend. And then Tony Stark's like, well, I'm your friend. And it's like, oh damn, but he's known him for like 100 years.
Yeah, that kind of that bro kind of connection there was cool. But Civil War for me fell flat with the I feel like, what was it all for?
There was
or what was, did they really did anything really even get resolved? They had a big fight and they
just broke up.
Yeah, and they threw, dumb quips at each other.
Yeah.
But no one died.
Yeah.
I thought
in the comic books, everyone, because Captain America dies in the comic book.
That's what I was saying. Civil War is a dark book, and the movie wasn't what I was like going in like. Oh, this is kind of like I wanted that to be what Infinity War ended up being for me. Like surprise me, Marvel.
Yeah.
Don't be like, this is family friendly. You got to push the envelope a little bit there.
And I feel like that's why. Infinity War was so good, and was so appealing to people, because it's like they finally got that. It was actually that high stakes movie that they
where the villain can win.
Yeah,
and he does.
Yeah,
in a vicious way.
Yeah.
And he has no remorse.
And the thing we forgot to mention at the end, Thanos goes back to, I think Gamora was Gamora's planet, and he sits down on like the hillside. It looks like the Shire from fucking Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, and it was because he had told her like, oh, by the end of this, I'm gonna, or he tell somebody
well,
by the end of this,
I'm gonna sit down and watch the sunset.
Mm-hmm. And that's how the movie closes.
Yeah, and he just like kind of smiles, and then that's it.
I actually got our buddy here that poster.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
it's
that poster's dope.
Comic-Con exclusive.
He's just Thanos just posted
with the fucking quote.
Yeah. That's such a good poster. But yeah. So, what's your least favorite Marvel movie out of every single one?
Well, so it's X-Men. X-Men isn't technically a part of it, huh?
No.
Because they're Fox.
X-Men is, that was ran by Fox, but now X-Men is going to be maybe a part of the Marvel Universe.
I would say right now my favorite would be Winter Soldier.
Okay.
With you, but then if we're talking about Marvel movies that aren't within the 10 years, I would say X2, X-Men United.
Okay.
Right.
Or was that 3? I think that was 3.
No, it's the United. Look it up. United's 2, I think. 3 is Last Stand.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, 3 is Last Stand. You're right. Yeah.
You know
what happens in the second one?
They well, spoiler, but they kill Jean, and they set up the Phoenix.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. And Wolverine's like, oh, I have to kill you.
Okay, going back, you said the least favorite.
Yeah.
I think we already talked about it, man.
So Avengers for yours, for like in the MCU.
Yeah, I would say Avengers. And I really like, if we're talking about in the MCU, my other favorite one, aside from the one you already said, Ant-Man.
Oh yeah, Ant-Man was good.
I really liked Ant-Man, and it was a surprise. I thought I wasn't going to connect with it the way that I did. It's funny. Paul Rudd is a great actor, you know.
He's like a great superhero that doesn't really want to be a superhero.
Almost, like an anti-hero.
Yeah.
Where he's just kind of forced in this thing, and he kind of runs with it. And he's just got that kind of like thuggish kind of because he's like a thief.
He's a cat burglar. Basically.
So that movie was a surprise hit for me, and I like that they keep making him relevant in everything.
I'm excited because I know he's actually going to be in Avengers 4, which is exciting for me because we get to. I have yet to see.
That's why
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
He's not. I haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp either. Yeah. Maybe we can do that. That's why they were saying that.
That's why you don't see him or Hawkeye.
Because their stories are going on at the same time, right?
Yeah, and I think they mention both of them. They say that Hank kind of
they happened before Infinity War?
They happened before Infinity War. Yeah. So the Ant-Man and the Wasp takes place. I don't know the timeline exactly, but I know it does take place before the snap and everything. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if at the end of that they lead it up to Infinity War, but so that's kind of where he's at this point, or at that point in the movie, and then you don't really know where Hawkeye is. They kind of just say he just left and went away with his family, basically. But yeah, and I know I think I mentioned it before, but I think the Russo brothers did Avengers 4 also, which is coming out in like 9 months. That Hawkeye's storyline is going to be a big part of Avengers 4.
Okay.
So his family's probably going to be dead or something because of the snap.
Yeah.
And then he's going to be like some badass like
revenge fueled. Yeah. Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, he's a badass. Good. He can sing too.
Really?
Yeah, I saw him on I forget what movie it was for, but it was like Jimmy Kimmel or one of those late night shows. But he's like on or maybe Saturday Night Live. I don't remember. He's on a piano. Like he can play piano too, pretty good, and he's like singing. I'm like, what's up with all these actors who can like dual threats and shit?
Yeah, right.
Like what's his name, Ansel?
Oh yeah.
Whatever.
Ansar. or
Ansel Egger, whatever, from Baby Driver.
Yeah.
He can sing. Scarlett, you recently told me that Scarlett Johansson can sing.
She has 2 albums. Huh?
Yeah, that's just I didn't know that. It blew my mind.
Mm-hmm. Did you look it up yet?
Yeah, I did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit,
this guy's lying. Fuck that.
Wes, fucking liar, fucking clickbait, motherfucker.
Oh, that just made this episode so much better right there.
Oh man,
we're gonna have to make a soundbite for that, man. Do you want to do some Swan facts?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
All right.
Swan facts.
So I only have a few for this, so if you have any that you can remember off the top of the dome, feel free to throw them in. So Mark Ruffalo was actually given a fake script to stop him from spoiling the movie, as he is notorious for doing so.
I know that him and Tom Holland are they're very notorious for ruining things a lot earlier than they're supposed to be.
Which is
released.
interesting that it's like, do they not care, or they're just kind of dumb in that way?
They're just like, oh.
Like, or naivety?
I told you about that story when Tom Holland went to a screening for Infinity War.
I was just thinking about that.
Basically, I'm just going to do this really quick. These people got to go see Infinity War, and he kind of he jumps out right before the movie starts, thinking that it was the end of the movie. I don't know if someone told him, before he went out, like, oh, they've already saw the movie, go surprise them. But he jumps out and says, "Hey, everybody, it's me, Spider-Man. I'm still alive." And then everyone's like, "What?" And he's like, "Oh, you haven't seen the movie yet? Oh, I'm sorry. Enjoy the movie." And then he kind of like, thanks for coming to see this, and then he leaves. So it's like, well, you just ruined a huge part of the movie. But yeah, that's one of the things. It's one of the.
Because then all of a sudden, the entire audience is expecting him to die.
Yeah.
The entire way through. So the ending, it's kind of like the ending. He robbed them of that effectiveness.
Yeah, those 60 people or however many people were in the theater at that time.
That tearjerker moment.
Yeah. But yeah.
Fuck you, Tom Holland.
Ruin everything. Fucking asshole. That's why we are fucking America. And we won a war a long time ago. There you go. History lessons, kids.
Oh, man. So the film takes place 4 years after Guardians 1 and 2.
That's crazy.
Guardians 1 and 2 actually, in their timeline, take place in the same year.
Okay. Makes sense.
There's no time in between.
No gap.
They just one right after another. Brolin was actually unable to see Black Panther in LA. He lives out in LA due to the consistent sellouts. So he saw it maybe a week or two before Infinity War actually came out.
That's cool.
Because he couldn't. I guess it's rumored that Marvel doesn't give benefits to their stars. They have to go.
You don't get to go to don't they go to?
Maybe the premieres, but I mean, other than that,
so basically, like, if you're not in the movie, you don't get to go to the premiere.
Yes, I guess.
So only the cast of Black Panther went to go see Black Panther, like, in the Chinese theaters.
I don't know how it works, but Brolin said that you don't get special privileges to see other movies in the universe.
That sucks. I'd be like, okay, my contract, I want to say
I'm motherfucking Josh Brolin.
Yeah, fucking Goonies for life. Fucking, you know who I am?
Why doesn't this work?
Oh man.
Speaking of Brolin, have you seen that video of him where obviously it's staged, but he's in a grocery store or somewhere, and he picks up the Magnum-sized condoms and he's walking around with them, and somebody's filming him, and behind the camera they go, I don't think you need that. Aren't you a little small for that size, Josh? And he's like, no. And he just walks away all disgusted. I have to show you the video.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen that. That sounds hilarious. Oh, man.
His face. It's awesome. So Infinity War is actually the 19th film for Marvel's MCU.